Thanks for joining us on the Tov Jewish News. I'm sitting here today with Mr. Eldad Beck from Germany, who's a journalist and author. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So maybe give us a little bit of background, what's going on right now in Germany today, and the differences you see since the massacre on Saturday, which was 3 weeks ago about.
Well, what we have right now is an ongoing debate about political debate about what has to be done in order to stop the pro-Hamas protests that we have been having for the last 2 weeks, which have been quite violent and quite massive in different cities of Germany. The government is showing so far a very firm stand on this issue. However, it doesn't have the legal basis to forbid the activities of Hamas, its supporters, and all organizations linked to it. So there must be something that has to be done legally before all the very nice declarations that we've been hearing in the last 2 weeks from the president, the chancellor, and the different ministers and parliament's member would have a real effect. The other development that happened, and which is quite important, is that the German elite security forces have stopped in the city of Duisburg, an Islamist, a German Islamist of Arab Muslim origin, who was planning to attack a pro-Israeli event in one of the parts of Germany. This attack has been avoided. However, it shows that there is a what used to be called in Israel wrongly, I think, a phenomenon of lonely wolves that are taking things into their hand and intend to commit also crimes here on the soil of Germany.
So I would ask you, I guess, a couple questions based on what you said. Number one, you said that there are riots in support of Hamas. Is it actually Hamas, or is it the overall Palestinian agenda? And how much in the German media do we see a parallel between, let's say, Holocaust, Nazi era things that happened then, and what's the narrative? How are things being viewed?
Well, first of all, I think that it would be extremely wrong to make the difference between Hamas and the Palestinian issue. I think it was wrong from President Biden and other leaders in the West to say that Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. Hamas was freely elected by the Palestinians, and there are no elections, no free elections in the so-called Palestinian territories, exactly because of that, because everybody knows that they are going to win again the elections, and probably in a bigger majority. So when we have here pro-Palestinian riots and demonstrations in favor of the Palestinian cause, of course it has to do with the fact that they're supporting Hamas and the atrocities that Hamas has committed on October the 7th. So there shouldn't be any difference between both issues. There shouldn't be even a difference between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority, as we know that they are both working for the same target, with maybe sometimes different means, but what they both want is the annihilation of the State of Israel and the Jews living in it.
Exactly. So we can see right now, like that the massacre was actually, the ideology behind it was genocide of Jews, which is exactly
Absolutely.
parallel and to Nazism and all that. How is that coming across? Is that connection being made today in the media among the German people?
Unfortunately, not the way I would have expected it to be, despite the fact that I have no high expectations of Germany at all. The message that the Nazi ideology is the one being followed by the Palestinians, and the old historical tradition and connections between the so-called Palestinian national movement and the Nazi movement are not being shown enough by the political class here in Germany, also not by most of the media here in Germany. Unfortunately, the media here in Germany, also the public media, is already spreading the false accusations according to which the atrocities committed by Hamas were actually a result of the so-called Israeli occupation of Gaza, which doesn't really exist, which doesn't exist at all. So we see again there was a very short wave of solidarity also within the media, but very, very quickly they went back to supporting the so-called Palestinian cause. Despite that, I must admit that I myself was surprised to see that a pro-Israeli demonstration that was organized in Berlin by the Friendship Association Germany-Israel resembled 25,000 people. It's the first time, it's really a historical moment that so many people get out into the streets and support and demonstrate their support of Israel. I have been living here for the last 22 years, and there has been the second Intifada, the second Lebanon war, the different Gaza wars. I have never seen anything like it, even before, as far as I know. Every time that there were some pro-Israeli demonstrations, there were maximum 1,000 persons coming when the things were really hot. This is the first time that the pro-Israeli forces managed to bring 25,000 people. This is something important, and I think that it shows that in parts of the German public, there are more and more people who are actually making the connection between the situation of Israel and what is happening in Germany ever since the mass immigration of 2015, 2016 started. People do make the connection, and they actually fear that the Middle East absolutely crazy situation is also becoming Germany's situation, and therefore it's much easier for them to express their solidarity with Israel.
It's great to hear that is growing finally among the German awareness. I think it would be important also to point out to them that the connection between the Palestinian leadership like Haj Amin al-Husseini, which started even before World War II and continued on even before the creation of the State of Israel, is a direct line. But we'll pick that up hopefully in another interview that we'll have with you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. All the best.
Thanks for joining us on Tov Jewish News, where we bring you unique perspectives and insight. You can also check out our Hebrew channel for more valuable content.